This is the video review of Transformers Generations Fall of Cybertron Starscream, and I really like this figure. It took a while for him to grow on me though, because when I first got him, well, the jet mode has some weird problems, and the transformation is simplistic and a bit old-fashioned, but after I got over that, I just really fell in love with this figure. He is easily my favorite of the Fall of Cybertron figures I have so far. I don't have Insecticon yet, but this guy's just way up there at the top. I could see Insecticon usurping his place as my favorite of the Fall of Cybertron figures, but he's a good figure, that's the main point. Now, for his robot mode, well, you can see that he poses really well. What's nice is that his feet, they have a side-to-side swivel. Really, really tight, though, by the way. And I wish he didn't have this. I think he would stand much better with a flat instep, but he does stand well because he can get his foot flat pretty easily with this side-to-side swivel. And this thing right here, because it sticks out so far, acts as a pretty good substitute toe or heel. Sort of like how it's acting as a substitute heel back here. So his feet, they work much better than I expected they would. So he has really nice balance, and he has pretty nice articulation. Like, his head can rotate around 360, although it's hard to get your hand in there, so you may need to raise these things up to rotate the head around, but it rotates around 360. And then it can look up about that far, which is, it looks a little bit strange the further up you make him look, but it's nice that he can look up, because I like when Transformers are supposed to be flyers can look up. It's weird when, hey, I'm flying, but I'm looking at the ground, not what's in front of me. So I like that he can look up. His legs are quite nice to go forward, back, in, out, rotate above the knee, bend at the knee. I've talked about the ankle swivel. Then you also have a toe bit here, although it's kind of loose. Honestly, the toe folds up for transformation, but I'm kind of thinking I may end up gluing it straight out, except that would change how the jet sits in vehicle mode, so I may not do that. I may just end up tightening that, but anyway. And then the arms are pretty nice, although there is a flaw with the arms, which is they sort of float here next to the body. Honestly, I consider this articulation, it's a lateral, not bicep, that lateral pectoral swivel. I wish it did a bit more, but I always appreciate having these. Like if the Leader movie Starscream figure, it had those, and that made that figure really neat. But anyway, the arms go forward, back, in, out, rotate above the elbow, double hinged elbow. You can rotate the fist, and they're pretty nice arms, and that's about it for his posability. I wish he had a waist swivel, but considering how he transforms, that wouldn't have been possible. Man, he's just a really nice robot mode. I really, really like his silhouette. I like how the wings work, how they have those points. And then, I like how he looks armored. Like, if you know what the Master Chief looks like, his torso area sort of looks like Master Chief's chest armor, how it goes over his shoulders here, and how his actual arms are a little bit free from it. It just reminds me of Master Chief's armor a little bit, which I think is neat, because Master Chief has a pretty, not necessarily the Halo 4 Master Chief, but the previous Master Chief incarnations, has a really neat armor design that makes him look like he can really move in the armor while still being protected. And this sort of has the same thing going on, and I like that. So, yeah, about the only other thing to talk about is he has awesome light piping. I like that. Now, to transform this guy, the first thing I want to do is remove the guns. Oh, and the guns, they have a peg here, and then you can peg them into the hand, into these ports here, or into here. So they're pretty versatile guns. You can do a lot with them, but I typically just leave them on the arm like this, if I even have them on the figure at all, because I do like the way the vanilla figure looks without those. But to transform this guy, you rotate the fist up so they're pointing to this guy, and then rotate the arms backwards so the back of the arm is facing forward. We'll rotate the head around, straighten out the ankles, pull these up, and then we will pop this away from the body, And you see this sort of L section here? We're going to straighten that out. And then there are little tabs here, and little tabs here and slots here. We'll bring those together. And then we'll bring this up, and there are more slots here, and tabs here and here. Bring those up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to deal with the arms. Now if you see these gaps right here, those gaps are going to be filled by these pieces here. So if you're concerned about the arms being in the exact right spot for jet mode, all you need to do is look here and you can see that they're basically where they need to be. So get that done, and then there's a slot here and a tab here. To put those together, you're going to have to push the arms all the way to the back of the fuselage as you can, and then you'll press those together. And that stows away the arms pretty well. And if you've ever played with the Takatoku VF-1 figure or the G1 Jetfire mold, then this transformation should look very familiar to you. This is an older transformation. I mean, this basic transformation scheme has been with fold out the nose, has been with Transformers for about 30 years. So that was one of the things that really turned me off the figure for a while, is because the transformation, it's just been done before. It's been done a lot. It's nothing new to me. But I say that, but it does enough to keep it fresh. Like, as these little things here that go over the shoulders, you fold the nose in. There's how you collapse all the hinges in here. And it does enough to keep the transformation fresh. So I can forgive it for being derivative because it is a good derivative. Now I think the Takatoku VF-1 figure is better than this figure, but it also costs like about 6 times more than this figure does, which is pretty expensive. So yeah, this is a pretty good figure. Now for the jet mode itself, it does have some weird problems, like it has this gap in here, which I hate. The head is visible here, and then there's this whole general gap behind the cockpit, which I don't really like that, just because I feel like they could have put... It just looks weird. It looks... A jet should be more streamlined than this. I feel like they could have put a hinge here and had a slat that just went along here to cover this, and they could just fold up on his back or something. They could have done anything to fill in that hole, and I would have been super happy. But as it is, the jet mode's grown on me. What I typically do is I take the guns and I plug them under the wings so that this longer tab faces out. And I will put them in like this so that this is pressed against the leg, so it looks like the gun isn't just hanging from the wing, it's married to the body. And doing this, I think, changes the silhouette substantially and makes it look quite a bit better. The silhouette is already pretty good, but this makes it look more threatening, and these things, you can interpret them as guns or more engines, so I really like the way he looks with these little guns on him. And this is the basic jet mode. It is a bit bumpy for my taste, but now that I've gotten used to it, it is actually a pretty cool jet mode, although really, if you consider that these big things are his thrusters, and then he has these tiny itty-bitty wings compared to the rest of the body. I mean, this is a thick fuselage. This guy is really less of a jet, and certainly not really a tetrajet, and he's more of a rocket with overly large stabilizers. So I wish he had more of a traditional jet aesthetic. I wish his wings were a bit longer, and I wish he were a bit more streamlined, but as it is, he is a nice figure. I do like this jet mode. I do like this figure. It is a really nice figure, and I do highly recommend him, although there are some weird things. It can take a while to get adjusted to this figure. So if you're anything like me, just give the figure some time, and he'll grow on you. He certainly grew on me. And yeah, that's just about it for this figure. I do really like it. It's a cool figure. Yeah. So I review Transformers, Power Rangers, lots of other figures. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.